Hello dear students, I am Dr. Sanjay Paga, Associate Professor, Department of Geography. Dear student, I welcome all of you in this online lecture series on behalf of Maratha Vidya Prasar Samajas, Karate Arts, Base Commerce and AM Science, popularly known as KTHM College Nasik. Dear student, this is our SYBSC Geography class, semester 4, and title of our subject is Environmental Geography Part 2. The paper code is GG241. Dear student, in today's lecture, we are going to discuss our topic number 2, that is environmental planning and management. In this topic, we have a subtopic that we are going to discuss today, that is principle of environmental planning. Dear student, in previous lecture, we have discussed detailed information about concept of environmental planning and management. For today's lecture, we have study objective that is very simple to discuss the principle of environmental planning. Dear student, unplanned development activities and the continuously increasing population has given the pressure on exploitation of natural resources, and therefore different regions on the earth are facing various problems of environmental degradation, that human being is responsible for creating such type of the problem on the environment. It includes problems such as depletion of the resources. I am talking about the natural resources, environmental pollution, disturbance in the ecosystem, global warming, climate change, and so many problems that are created by the human being on the surface due to its various human activity and selfish nature. We try to maintain the balance between the environmental degradation and development of the society. This is very important, and in this regard, the study of significant and the guiding the principle of environmental planning and management is very important. On the basis of this, we can able to do a sustainable development in the world. Therefore, the discussion and the study of this principle of the environmental planning is very important. So let us discuss all these principles which are very important while framing any policy related to the economic development or other policy in the world. The first is the environmental policy, legislations, and the treaties. Dear student, for proper environmental planning and the management, there must be a governmental, national, and the international policy, law, rules, regulation, act, and treaties that can be useful for framing a very good planning. The environmental law and regulation help in the protection and the conservation of the natural resources by controlling economic activity. If you lay down such type of the rules and regulation, definitely the intensity of the creating the problem through the human activity will definitely going to control. The individual country cannot achieve this desired result by acting along on global issue like a air pollution, ozone depletion, global warming, and climate change and global warming, climate change, and so many things that we facing the problem at international level. Therefore, international environmental agreement like Kyoto Protocol that was signed by the various country in 1997, then Montreal Protocol that was also signed by the various country in 1987 are needed to work on the global environmental issue, and for that purpose the combined effort is very important. So therefore the main goal of environmental policy is to regulate the use of resources and reduce the pollution to help human welfare and protect natural system and ecosystem is very important. So in this regard, this principle is very important. We have to follow this principle when we are going to frame any new policy related to the sustainable development, and that time we also take care about the environment. Second principle is also very important, that is study of fundamentals of ecosystem and environmental planning. Dear student, the study of fundamental concept of the ecosystem has an importance in the planning and management of the environment. In ecosystem, both biotic and abiotic component involves, and there is always interaction among these components. The biotic factor like plants, The consumers, various type of the birds, animals, and microorganisms, all are very important parts of the ecosystem. And also we have the abiotic factor. It may be the soil, it may be sunlight, various gas, water, mineral, and a number of things, they are part of the ecosystem. And the both biotic and abiotic factor always interact with other and function the ecosystem. But see student, when the human being doing a various activity, that time there is a impact on this ecosystem, on that component of the ecosystem, and it affect the human being, affect human beings activities affected directly or indirectly on this ecosystem. Therefore it may be possible there is a change in any ecosystem on the earth surface, and it creates the disturbance as a whole part of the ecosystem, and therefore the environment balance is also disturbed. So therefore, with our study of basic concept of the ecosystem, environmental management cannot be possible. So for that purpose, when we are going to frame any new plan or any policy, that time we should keep in our mind that the fundamental principle of the ecosystem. On the basis of this thing, we have to construct our planning. Another important principle of environmental planning is environmental impact assessment. Dear student, this is also very important. Actually, this topic we already learned in our previous chapter. The probable effects of human activity, that means the proposed project or maybe any plan, any development plan on the natural environment is called environmental impact. Dear student, to predict the impact of any developmental activity on the environment and to provide an opportunity to plan appropriate mitigation measure for negative impact is very important. Dear student, it also helps to enhance the positive impact on the environment. The major aim of the environmental impact assessment is to facilitate the sustainable development by reducing the adverse effect of the human activity. That is very important. When we are going to start a new project, it may be construction of the dam, construction of the bridge, construction of the multi-purpose project, or construction of the thermal power project, or any type of the development project. That time we should keep in our mind that there should not be any negative impact on the environment. And for that purpose, we do the environmental impact assessment. Therefore, the information of this is very important when you are going to start a new, when you are going to start or maybe the plan for the new plan, the frame for the new plan. That time, this principle you have to keep in your mind. And therefore, you know that it is also a management tool for the environmental planner and decision maker. Without this, they are not going to plan any new policy for the sustainable development of the country. And it is now accepted as an essential part of the environmental planning and management. And therefore, dear student, the study of environmental impact assessment is very important. Let us talk about the principle number 4, pollution control at source. This is also important. You know that the various human activity are responsible to create the various type of the pollution in the environment. The pollution control at the source is one of the basic and the important principle of the environmental planning and management. For that purpose, the point pollution means coming out the pollutant from the specific location, discharge of the sewage, chemicals, and industrial water, release of the smoke from the chimneys of these factories are called as a point. Point pollution means what? We have to search the specific source of that pollution. It may be water pollution, it may be soil pollution, or it may be the air pollution or the sound pollution, whatever it is. So for that purpose, we have to search the point, the important point where that pollution is released. And once you got the information about that, and then it is very easy to control them. So for that purpose, the study of pollution control at the source is very important. Dear student, from this study, we can able to minimize the intensity of the pollution. So therefore, this principle is also very important. Let us talk about the principle number 5, polluters pays principle, that is PPP. Dear student, the polluters pay principle state that the industries, firms, or any kind of the economic activity which produce pollution and discharge it in the environment have to pay a price for such discharge related to the environmental degradation, like a fines, because they are responsible to create the environmental pollution. While making environmental policy for the environment management, it should be adopted as a general basic to prevent the pollution. Dear student, the principle is very useful for sustainable development as polluters is liable to pay the cost to the individual supports of the environmental pollution as well as the cost restoring the damaged environment. Yes, dear student, the human being is responsible. You know that when we started new industry, new project, or maybe the new factory, that time we are responsible to release the numbers of the pollutant in environment, and we are the responsible for that purpose. Therefore, the industries have to take the responsibility for that damage or might be the degradation of that environment. Therefore, they have to pay some amount as like a fine to recover the what you can say the recover the damage of that environmental situation. So therefore, in this regard, this principle is are another important principle, that is the user pays principle. See, dear student, this principle is considered as a part of polluters pay principle because the polluters like firms, industries, company, factories, all these are responsible. Make production of the things for the user, means for us. The people are using numbers of the pollution, the numbers of the product that are produced from any factory, maybe industry, or maybe from firms. So therefore, both are responsible to create the damage. They are responsible to create the damage or the degradation in the environment. Like industries, the user, people are also responsible for that purpose, for that damage. Therefore, to some extent, the user are also responsible for the environmental pollution and degradation. User also contribute a lowering the quality of environment by using the finished product. Maybe in last lecture we already discussed few products. It may be like a refrigerator, freeze, or the perfume, or use of the chlorine, and numbers of things that we are using, and they are directly or indirectly responsible for the degrading the environment at some extent. So therefore, with this regard, this is a very important principle. According to this principle, all the resource use should be paid some marginal cost of the use of natural resources and related services to restore the quality of the environment. This last sentence is very important. To restore the quality of environment. For that purpose, this principle is very important. So this principle we also take into account when we are going to frame a new policy and the plan for any project. Another important principle, that is the very important, the precautionary principle. So this is also very important. The main objective of this principle is to take precaution and initiate the necessary steps before polluting the environment. Like environmental impact assessment, same type of this principle. According to the principle, the substances or any kind of the human activity which pose a threat to the environment should be prevented from the adversely or the negatively affecting effect on the environment. This principle is essential for the protection of the environment and the human health by implementing at the place of production and the distribution of the resources. Dear student, another important principle, environmental principle, principle that related to the environmental planning, that is a very important principle of effectiveness and the efficiency. This principle is associated with the efficiency and effectiveness of the resources. Dear student, the resource effectiveness and efficiency means taking more production with the less environmental impact by using the limited resources on the earth in a sustainable manner. So this is a very important. What does it mean? You have to we have to produce the production, but see, that time we also keep in our mind there should not be any damage on the environment. We try to maximize our production, but with less damage to the environment, less damage to the natural resources, less damage to our surrounding. So therefore, this principle is very important. It also helps to innovate the new technique and instrument to use the resource effectively and efficiently. And this principle boosts the sector like recycling and the resource recovery, and this is essential for the sustainable economic growth. Dear student, therefore, recycling, reuse. This is a very important when we are going to use a various type of the resources during our development project, or maybe in our regular life. So keep in your mind that with help of this principle, we can able to save and protect the environment at some extent. Let us talk about the next principle, the principle of responsibility. This principle states that it is the responsibility of all persons, stakeholder, corporation, industries, leader, and the government to maintain the environmental process and to take care about our environment. This is the combined responsibility, not only at the national level, but at international level. We have to do a combined effort to protect our environment. While using the natural resources, it is our duty and responsibility to use them in an economically efficient and a social fair manner. And then it is possible to us to protect the environment. Let us talk about the next very important principle, that is principle of the participation. It is the duty of all citizens of the country to participate in the environmental decision making process. Dear student, you know that the people should participate in the campaign related to the environment saving process, or you can say in the program. So definitely, when this can be happen, then definitely we can able to minimize the intensity of the environmental problem. So all citizens at the international level also should participate in a making decision about the making decision process about the any new project that are related to the development. So this is very important. Another important principle, the principle of proportionality. So dear student, this is also very important principle. The principle is based on the concept of the balance. Here to maintain the balance between economic development on the one hand and the environmental protection and the conservation on the other hand is very important. Means what does it mean? We should continue our economic development, but simultaneously we also take care about the protection and the conservation of the natural environment. That is very important, and then we can able to do a sustainable economic development. In this principle, it is not expected that no development. Yes, the development is possible without some adverse effect on the environment. See, that is very important. Means when you continue any start your new project about the economic development, that time there may be some effect on the environment, but what is our duty? We have to minimize that negative impact on the environment. So for that purpose, this principle is very important. It is essential to adjust the economic activity of the human being to maintain the quality of the environment, the balance of the environment, the balance of ecosystem and ecology. That is very important. So in this regard, this principle is very important. Let us talk about the another important principle of environmental planning, that is application of remote sensing and GIS. So these both techniques are very important for the conservation of the environment and the protection the ecological balance. Remote sensing and GIS, geographical information system technology, involves the understanding and the management of the natural resources by mapping, monitoring, and the management of the resources. Dear student, this is a very important technique. This study of the study of natural resources help in environmental planning and management to us. Especially I am talking about this technique is capable to studying the pollution and the detecting the climatical change. It may be related to the climate warming or the storm occurrence, or maybe any natural disaster. In this regard, this study is very important for prediction and to assess the environmental impact assessment. So dear student, you can use the satellite image that we get from the remote sensing, or by using the computer and GIS software, we can able to make a very accurate map, monitor that system, the land use pattern of that area. So for this all purpose, this principle, the application of remote sensing and GIS, really very important. So therefore we have to study this principle. Then let us talk about the very important, that is sustainable development. This is a part and parcel of our economic, the environmental planning and the management. The sustainable development is a very key principle of the environmental planning, as it aims to meet the needs of the present without the compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. Dear student, you know that the 17 Sustainable Development Goals were adopted by all United Nations members in 2015 with 169 targets to reach by the 230. So this is our target. All part of the world, all nations are aim to complete these things. So for that purpose, means the concept of the sustainable development is very important. What is sustainable development? Sustainable development nothing but is development you have to continue. But see, when you're using the natural resources or any other things, that time we also keep in our mind that next generation also require this thing. So you use that very carefully. So without damaging them, you have to use them very properly. There should not be any waste of that natural resources, and then you can carry out your development. So this development is known as the sustainable development. Many of the environmental challenges that human being facing today, such as the global warming, climate change, water scarcity, environmental pollution, and degradation, can be resolved by promoting the sustainable development. In this regard, this principle is very important. This is the basic principle for environmental management and the planning. Dear student, this was about today's lecture. In this lecture, we describe the various principles of the environmental management. In next lecture, we are going to discuss the aspect of the environmental management. Okay, thank you.